Yo, yo, yo. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me turn that down. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, all right, all right. What is happening, people? What is happening? Shout out to everybody that's here. What up, Snow Bunny? Yeah, I'm sending the invite right now. I usually do like a 15-minute diatribe and I send out the invites, but ladies first. And here comes the invite. And it is out. I just sent it. Shout out to people in the chat. Hit that like button. It is early. I know I'm about 10 minutes early. So don't fret. So shout out to happy belated birthday to Roxy Strider. Happy belated birthday. Shout out to Big Cloud and the rest of the crew. So J-Dub City just posted a video up.
Hello.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, what time is it where you are?
10:52 a.m.
Oh, so you're in the Eastern time zone. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you for hopping on with Hangouts ending in 2 weeks.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
Well, hey, it's all good. It's all good. So shout out to this is the wonderful Snow Bunny. People have been asking who is Snow Bunny.
I doubt that very much. I'm just a small timer.
Ah, well. No, you're not. We're all large in the eyes of the Lord, the eyes of the white Jesus and all that kind of stuff. So how have you been? How is your weekend going?
My weekend is going good now. I'm finished work for the weekend. I usually don't work on weekends, so it kind of throws me off.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have to go in for an in-service, you said?
They installed, because I'm a dental assistant, and our office just installed digital x-rays.
Oh.
So we had to have training on the computer programs and the new x-ray machine.
Oh. That ain't never no fun.
No, it was 8 hours on a Saturday. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Did they have breakfast and lunch there at least?
We had lunch.
Okay. So it was tolerable. But they're gonna bring you lunch.
Free food, what can I say?
Oh, hey, I'm in your corner on that one. I am in your corner. Well,
hello, chat.
Yes. Chat, this is Miss Snow Bunny. She's a big Nintendo gamer.
For right now. Every gen I might change consoles.
All right, so let me ask you, what were you did you play on Nintendo previously, or did you have a preferred console? And if so, what enticed you to get a Switch?
So if you go all the way back to my when I first started gaming, I was on a Game Boy. I had a Game Boy, and then I had a PS1. I loved my PS1. I burned through 2 of them actually.
Wow.
And then I had a PS2. When PS3 launched with no games and saying to just get a second job to support the console before the games came out, I switched over to 360.
Facts. A lot of people did.
And because at the time, the price of what the PS3 was costing was my house payment for my mortgage. It was like $600.
Yeah, it was in USA Today. I try to tell people, they always talk about media bias. And I'm like, look, that was in USA Today. It was the front page of USA Today, and it just said it said like $5.99 or $6.99 or something with a big question mark. You know, like what the hell? You know, so but yeah, I'll continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. So I ended up getting a PS3 when it went down later in the gen, but I loved my 360. And then when the next gen was coming out, PS4 and 360, I mean PS4 and Xbox One, when Xbox announced that always online crap and all the stuff that they were saying, I did not get an Xbox One. I had the money to get either console when they launched, but when they launched, I was talking with some of my friends, and because of my limitations with I can't play like first person shooters and things like that, and I don't really play sports games, they told me don't buy a console yet. Wait until more stuff come out to see which one you want, because there was nothing launching with either console that I would play. So I ended up waiting around, and then I ended up getting a Wii U. I had a Wii. That was a gift from my mom. I had a Wii U, and the Wii U I got because of Splatoon, but I ended up hating the controller.
The Wii U controller?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yes. Right. And then I ended up, after I ended up getting that, I was like, man, maybe consoles is just not getting to me. I went to PC gaming for a while, but then I started having issues with my hands.
Oh no. And as a dental assistant, that's no good.
Yes, I had to pick which one was more important, my job or my gaming.
Yeah.
So I still game on PC, but not as much as I used to. And then I saw the Switch, and I don't usually buy consoles first year. And after the whole Wii U thing, I was like, I'm gonna wait and see. And then I saw that they were releasing Skyrim for Switch. And I was like, oh, I could play Skyrim on the go. So I ended up getting a Switch in February or March of 2018. So that's what ended up happening and how I ended up with a Switch. And now I absolutely love my Switch.
Okay, so so is it a major? And with your hands, is it better for your hands, or do you play with it docked mostly? Or
I play with it docked mostly, and I have a Pro controller.
Okay,
but yeah, but with a controller, I'm okay. But if I have to use like mouse and keyboard, because I ended up last Christmas, I ended up getting tendonitis real bad in one of my hands.
Right.
I was wearing a brace on my hand that made it look like I was giving everybody the middle finger. All my coworkers loved it. They wanted one for themselves. But with the controller, I'm easier to play with than with keyboard and mouse.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm still not, and there's different mouses to get for if you really want to play. There's one I know that Corsair makes one that's just devastating to play shooter games with, because you can actually change the speed of the mouse. A lot of people don't. With gaming mouse, they can change the speeds. So this is
that's nice.
Yeah, so they can even right now I can change the speed of this mouse to make it search faster. So if I go as fast as it can go, I can barely follow the thing around the screen.
Yeah, see, I had I've burnt through 2 Razer Nagas.
Okay, yeah.
And I love the Razer Naga. It's just that if they are so fragile that if anything happens to them, they can easily break. And that's what ended up happening with both of mine. Like one day my cat came through and knocked it off, and it banged on the floor. And something started rattling in it, and it wasn't working right afterwards.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm tired of burning through Nagas and breaking them. So I ended up not going with Naga. Next time, if I get I have a gaming PC. But if I go, I'm switching up. I heard Corsair was a very good one, so I might get one of them next and try it.
Yes, I can't complain about mine, and mine glows. I love that.
My Naga, because my gaming PC that I have is actually a I have an MSI Dominator. The 18-inch laptop version, that's a desktop replacement. And that whole thing glows. And my the Naga I had was glowing. And my headset that I have, which is a Razer, I think I have the Chroma headset, it glows. So everything is lit up.
Oh yeah, beautiful setup there. Yeah, yours is beautiful. Yeah, see, I got the glow. I should have bought the glowing keyboard Corsair. They were on sale at Best Buy for like 3 straight weeks for like $39.99.
You didn't pick one up?
No, I did not, and I may go pick one up today because they went up to 44. But tomorrow is a Prime Day. Tomorrow and Tuesday is Prime Day, so I'm waiting to see if Prime drops the price back to 39. I'm just waiting to see.
Because with gaming mouses and keyboards, you can never have too many of them because one might go on a blitz at any time. So if you find a good one that you really, really like at a very good price, it's always a good idea to pick it up and put it back for when yours do finally conk out.
Yeah, I should have just bought it. I literally picked it up and put it in the cart. And then I talked myself out of it. That's like the way I shop. It's like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and I'll buy it. And instead of me going, I ended up walking over to the TVs and they had an 8K TV. Oh, yes. It is mandatory on the podcast for all the ladies to say 8K. So let's hear you say it.
What, 8K?
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's all I needed for the morning. All right. That's so I go over and look at the 8K TVs. I get to talking to them about it. And then next thing you know, I don't want to buy nothing but an 8K TV. And the keyboard looks stupid. I know.
How much is that 8K TV going for?
The one I want about $4,200.
See, nah,
But you should have seen it. Oh my God, you should have seen it.
I don't care how much you can see it. Can you imagine how many games and how much you can upgrade your PC for with $4,200?
Yeah, but it did nothing. It blew me away when I was looking at it. I'm like, well, what is the big old? Because they had it right next to a 4K TV. And I'm like, oh my, this is not fair. Like this is, you could smell the honey that the bees were making on this 8K TV. I mean, it looked that good. You could smell it.
I would still wait because the technology is so new.
True.
I would still wait at least 3 years. I would at least wait till the next gen consoles come out if you're going to get a next gen console.
Yeah,
because right now, it's usually with technology, it's always a good thing to wait a year or two because they're going to A, drop the price, and B, once they drop that price, it's going to be easier to manufacture and it will be of a better quality. So any bugs that's going on in the 8K right now, they'll be fixed in a couple years.
I mean, you're right. Everything you're saying makes sense. So that's what I'm going to end up doing. But oh man, you should have seen it. Oh, you should have seen it. Oh,
I walk away from the TV section at Best Buy because I have my 60-inch TV. I'm totally happy with that. Next TV I get, I want to upgrade to either 70 or 75-inch.
Wow. Well, this one, that's the thing. They're only, the one I want is like, it's 55 inches, but they're still extremely they're still incredibly expensive. You're right about that. I need to stop.
I mean, like I said, I love that. Have you seen the curved TVs?
Yeah, and I'm looking at a curved monitor too on Prime Day. See, I'm stuck. Do I get the curved monitor that's 1080p, or do I wait to get one on Black Friday that's 1440p? Which that's what I would prefer. Do I get the
Black Friday?
Yeah, that's probably for a monitor.
Do
Yeah,
you
you're right.
absolutely need a monitor now?
No, 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 no,
Wait
no,
till
no.
Black Friday.
Yeah, because they're not. I mean, not unless Prime Day hits me with something that's just phenomenal. Because they got some that are 27 inches that are nice.
Ooh.
You know, for Prime Day for like 150. You know.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I know. You see what I'm saying? So it's so I'm stuck. But I got something's gonna have to blow me away. For
It's going,
Prime Day.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's always the way it is with technology. Something has to like totally blow you away. Like that's how it is with me and consoles. When games start showing for the consoles, like everybody's screaming about all this stuff with the next gen consoles. I'm sitting here like, I don't care about any of that. Show me what games is going to make me want to purchase this.
Yeah, which I was gonna ask, your gaming PC, what kind did you build? Or did you just go and pick it up, or did you build it yourself? Did you have somebody build it for you?
With my Dominator, it came in and I had some upgrades done to it.
It was called a Dominator? Jeez.
The MSI. The one thing I like about MSI laptop computers, like mine is a laptop that's a desktop replacement. With mine, you know how you usually have a mobile graphics card that you put in them? Mine can actually be upgraded to a desktop graphics card.
Okay.
What I also like about it is it's guaranteed that you can upgrade the whole PC, the whole laptop for 2 generations of graphics cards. So I could drop new graphics cards in there. I could drop more SSDs in there. I could drop new hard drives in there. Only thing I wouldn't be able to check, I think I can even drop a new CPU in there. I'm not positive about that one though. Okay. But I can drop all of that in and then it can just upgrade over time. So that's what I really like. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm paying $2,500 for this thing, but it's upgradable.
Yeah, that's cool.
So and I'm running 32 gigs of RAM right now, or 64 gigs of RAM. I'm running some ridiculous amount of RAM that I don't need that much RAM for.
RAM is on sale too.
And I can upgrade my RAM also. Like I said, I can't remember if it's 32 or 64 I have, but if it's 32 I have, I can upgrade it to 64. And if it's 64 I have, I can upgrade it to 128 gigs of RAM.
Damn.
It's it's like you know, World of Warcraft, and you know how graphically intensive World of Warcraft is.
Oh yeah.
My PC, what was happening? I was in a raid once and I was playing with my friend, and the game kept booting me out. I mean, just like booting me out. And my friend was like, share your screen with me, because we were in Skype. He said, pull up your specs on your computer, because he knew I had just gotten my Dominator. He said, pull up your specs on your computer and share your screen so I could see what's going on. He said, because something you have going on, it's not powerful enough, because I was running it on ultra settings. When he looked at my specs, he was like, holy hell. He said, you shouldn't be getting booted out.
Right.
Well, come to find out, about 30 minutes after he looked at my specs, the entire server crashed in World of Warcraft and booted everybody out.
Oh, God.
So it got to a point of when we were playing, if I all of a sudden started getting booted out, we started noticing if the game was booting me out, the server was about to crash.
Oh, okay.
Because of the way my specs were so high, I shouldn't have had no problems. Like I could go into the busiest part of World of Warcraft on ultra settings and have no lag whatsoever.
Like 60 frames, no lag.
Yeah, it was nothing going on. It would just be like buttery smooth. I would just run through the town and everything.
Oh, but, wow. Well, that game is intensive. Yes, I like it.
So when the game started booting me out, it was everybody would pause what they were doing because they knew the server was about to crash, and every time the server was crashing.
Jeez. So are you what? So now you said you wanted to. I'll get back to your Switch. Do you like playing games like Skyrim or Oblivion and stuff like that on the go, or what is that? What is that like to have something that I mean, like, does the sound? I mean, how does that work? You know, because I'm thinking about buying a Switch, but it needs to have a new Donkey Kong.
Oh well, the thing is it all depends on what you're playing. Like usually when I play on the go, I thought getting Skyrim on the go would have been good and everything, but then I started noticing the battery life of it. When you're playing the more graphically intense games like that, the Switch's battery life goes down.
Right.
So I tend to, when I'm on the go playing with it, I tend to play less graphically intense games to conserve my battery. But then I play Skyrim at home. But what's so cool about it is, like, let's say, because my mom, she doesn't play video games, but she likes watching me play video games.
Okay.
Craziest thing. She doesn't play, but she likes watching me play video games because she gets immersed in the stories and like if I'm doing quests and stuff, the plots of the RPGs and things I'm playing.
Right. Okay.
So I can grab my Switch. Like, let's say I'm halfway playing in the game and she'd be like, hey, can you come over? With the Switch, you don't have to power it down. You can just hit the button, put it into sleep mode, grab it, go, and then wherever you end up going and playing it, you can just hit the power button again and it loads you back in right where you left off at.
Oh, well, damn. That is different. Didn't know it could do that. So
yeah, so like you don't, like if you're going on the go, you don't have to like close out the game. You don't have to like shut the system down. All you have to do is, if you're in portable mode, if you hit the power button, it puts it into sleep mode. And then you go wherever you're at, and then when you hit the power button again, it loads right back up where you left off at.
Oh, I see. Now I got you. Now you're a big. You played Zelda on the Switch?
I played it, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a huge Zelda fan. With any Zelda, I played it. I kind of was like, it's a good game. It looks beautiful. I love the changes they did to it, but they didn't change the story up enough for me to really enjoy it.
I was gonna say, now Zelda is the princess? Is that the name of the land, or is that the name of the princess?
Okay, Legend of Zelda. Zelda is the princess over Hyrule.
Okay, but
Link is the main character you play.
But why does Zelda keep leaving? Like, he always has to go find her. Is his sex bad, or is he beating her up, or what's going on? Is Link abusive?
In this version of the game, in Breath of the Wild, there was a war that happened.
Right.
And in Hyrule. And Link got hurt and was put into a stasis and slept for like, I think 100 years or something.
Oh, okay.
And he comes awake. Zelda, meanwhile, has sacrificed herself to condemning Ganon in the land. For when Link awakens, he can come and defeat Ganon and save her again.
Okay.
So that's what ends up happening. And it's a good game. Granted, it's gorgeous. It's just that there were some things about it I really didn't like, so it didn't stay in my collection.
I see. So Link's just a simp. He just keeps going to save this girl. It's like that. I don't know. Is he a simp, or is that Jonah guy from? Have you played the Tomb Raider games?
I played the first one years and years ago.
All right, yeah, I played those Tomb Raider games. That guy Jonah, he's in the friend zone. He crashing in airplanes, getting shot at.
Yeah,
she ain't even giving him no side boob.
Yeah, and the thing with Zelda and Link, they have two different stations. You know how back in the day she's a princess.
Yeah,
he's a knight. Yeah, he's a knight. So you have that type of difference with that.
Yeah. What's up, Jentaku 3 Gaming? How you doing? Everybody's here. Hit that like button. Also we got the super chat button down there. You can hit that. So leave Matt's gaming alone. He finally, I saw his video this morning. I actually enjoyed his video. So he's actually talking about performance now. But all right, so are you gonna do you think you'll get the Switch Lite? And no. So what are some of the differences that you have heard that you are interested in, or is it not a big enough step for you to get the Switch Lite?
It's not a big enough step for me because I bought a Switch thinking I could play on the go and could play like at home, but my life has gotten so busy to where I can't really play it on the go. So I play my Switch mostly docked.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because life happens and things get busy to where if I'm not at work, I'm at home. And the way my job is, I'm lucky if I can get my full hour lunch at times. If I can't, I'm taking like a 30, 45 minute and then I'm running out the door. I don't have time to sit there and play a game because I got to eat and get back.
Yeah, I got you.
So, so with the Switch Lite, I mean, yeah, it's good for people who like, because some people don't like the HD Rumble. The HD Rumble's no longer in it. Some people don't like HD Rumble. Right. They wish they could cut it off in games. The only and then I heard that you can't dock it to a TV, which it's whatever for me. And it's not even that. It's just that I'm thinking about what the market that they're trying to get are those people who have nothing but 3DSs and have not upgraded yet. But those people don't want something that they can plug into their TV.
They just want to keep going on the go.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have to look at the market of who they're targeting. Right now, there's tons of 3DS players who still has not gotten a Switch yet.
Yeah. Now, do you think Nintendo was surprised at the adoption rate in the United States with the Switch versus Japan's adoption rate? Because the Switch has done very well here in the United States, in the West, in the West period.
With Nintendo, Nintendo is the group. This is one thing I say about Nintendo. Nintendo is the one competition who, yes, they like their worldwide sales and they like things like that, but their main primary focus is first focusing on their fans in Japan. They could care less about everywhere else. If it takes off everywhere else, then yes, they're very, very happy. I think. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm targeting. Yeah, I got you.
All right. So their primary focus is Japan first, world next.
Okay.
But I think what happened was I think after the Wii U, I think that they thought their fans worldwide was not going to accept and embrace a new console as quickly as it happened because they were totally unprepared for the sales of the Switch. Totally unprepared. There was a shortage of them in the world. And there's been a couple things that's come out on the Switch game-wise where they were totally unexpected for the demand of the games. So I think the demand for it shocked them as much as it did because, like I said, coming off the Wii U, you have to think if you were, like, let's say you were a company and you had a product that failed, would you mass produce your next product thinking that it was going to be an instant hit?
No. I mean, it's I think also well, that's a good point because the third-party developers really did not adopt to the Switch. I think it had to hit some benchmarks as far as sales,
right?
Before you start, so that's a good point.
I mean, you got to think about the Switch outsold the Wii U in its first, I want to say 9 months.
Yeah, that thing was
on the market.
Yeah.
So and even with third party, I don't think Nintendo itself expected it to go as quickly as it did. Hence why we had the worldwide shortages and things.
Correct.
Because they were going on the idea of, okay, this one was not as successful as we thought it was going to be. Let's not produce as much for our next console in case it tanks.
Yeah. And they hold some back on the fail rates too.
Exactly.
So they have to because they don't know their fail rate until 90 days. So
right. So that's the thing. So I don't think they anticipated it to take off the way it did. Another game that was a prime example of that exact same thing happening was Octopath Traveler,
which was up for Game of the Year, correct? Or wasn't that up for game? Or one of the games it won? Did it win something?
It might have. Yeah. I don't keep up with awards and stuff like that because I just play what I like.
Yeah, I understand.
Octopath Traveler had a shortage. Like, I wanted to switch my pre-order from the standard edition to the collector's edition, but the collector's edition was already sold out pre-orders.
Jeez.
In Japan, they had to do like 2 or 3 runnings of it because it sold out. And Square Enix, because you know how everybody's like, well, people just buy it digital. In Japan, people weren't buying it digital. Square Enix was apologizing. They wrote articles apologizing to the public, saying, we are sorry, we did not expect this demand.
Right.
Please, if you don't want to wait, please buy it digital. And people were just like, no, we'll just wait till the next physical run of it come out.
Damn.
I mean, so
I'm big in the physical. I like the feel of the ownership. Digital doesn't doesn't feel like you own it, even though you pay for it. It doesn't feel like you own it. Now, you brought up Square Enix. Now, are they the ones that make Final Fantasy VII?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm asking about the Final Fantasy VII being exclusive. What do you think about Square Enix putting out literally coming out on their social media side saying they apologize for what happened, how people thought it was coming out on the Xbox, and the people in the Xbox community did not believe them. They still don't believe them, even though Square Enix has come out and said, nope, it's not coming out for anybody else right now.
Well, here's the thing about that, okay? Back in the beginning days of the PS3, Sony themselves came out and stated that they were no longer paying for third-party exclusives. At that time, Square Enix was in the productions of making Final Fantasy 13.
Okay, yeah.
That's when they all of a sudden had to switch up, and they put it on the 360 as a bad port for the 360.
Yeah, I bought it. It was trash.
Okay. But at that time, PlayStation said they were no longer paying for third-party exclusives. They only had their first-party exclusives. So basically, it threw everything in a mix. Start of this gen or later in the PS3 gen, all of a sudden, they started having timed exclusives. Okay, so if you notice, games are coming out as timed exclusives for a year or two on platforms. Prime example, one game that I have is Skylanders Imaginators, and they have a Crash Bandicoot expansion for the game. My friend argued me down that expansion was only for PS4. When I looked into it, come to find out it was a PS4 exclusive, but now was free to go on other platforms. So they're up here saying right now that it is going to be only on, and you have to look at the keywords they're saying there. They're saying for right now, it's only on the PS4.
Right.
Keywords, there's for right now.
Yeah, so we have no plans right now. Yeah,
exactly. No plans right now, which means I'm thinking they're going to release all the parts as an exclusive on PS4 in the beginning, but a year or two after the last section of that game comes out, it's going to other platforms. And it might be a remaster for the next gen, though.
Yeah. Well, do you think that, shout out to Jay Barry, do you think that they're going to put out the entire game on PlayStation and then come out with it to PC and then maybe Xbox? Do you think that's what they're going to do?
Yeah, I think they're going to I would think they're going to wait till all the parts of the game have come out on PS4 and then re-release it as a remastered definitive edition for all the other everywhere else.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's what I think.
And so that would make it a timed exclusive.
Yeah. So, but it may take them a year or 2 years to put the entire game out.
Well, so, that's the thing. I mean, like, look at right now. Look at and I forgot who put. I think Square Enix did Dragon Quest. Enix did Dragon Quest? Yeah, Dragon Quest 11. Look at Dragon Quest 11. Dragon Quest 11. They developed. I mean, they developed for the PS4 and published it for the PS4 and for the PC. Nintendo had to wait. We're just getting it this year. We've had to, and the game was announced before the Switch was ever named the Switch, that it was going to be coming out on Nintendo's next platform, which was the NX at the time. They said that then that it was coming out on Nintendo NX. So it came out on PS4. They published it for the PS4 and PC. A year later, we've waited a whole year for the Switch version of it. Nintendo is publishing the Switch version of it. And they even apologized to Nintendo fans saying, I'm sorry that you have to wait. We're adding extra content to your version of it. And now the PS4 and PC communities are losing their shit over it.
Well, that's true. The PC community is finicky. So that's all I can say. They're supportive. They're supportive of each other, but they're real finicky.
I mean, like right now, Square Enix just released Octopath Traveler for the PC, and it came out at full price of $59.99.
Yeah, and they'll go buy it.
No, they were a little angry that they have to pay full price for a game that's a year old.
Did Octopath Traveler have DLC?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Well, that's even on Steam. It's $59.99.
It's $59.99 on Steam.
Oh my god!
And the only thing, my whole response to that is, welcome to the world of the Switch owners.
Yeah,
we pay full price for a game that's an older game all the time. Now they're just deciding, hey, it's working with Switch. Let's do it for PC.
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, the Final Fantasy thing threw me because I thought when they showed that game first, it just said play first on PlayStation. I'm thinking, that's going to be a timed exclusive. So when Square came out and said, oh, no, it's going to be an exclusive, I'm like, oh, what? Really?
No, but the key words there for the time being.
Yeah.
Those are the key words. You have to look at what they're saying and what they're saying and what they're not saying. They're saying, yes, it's an exclusive. But what they're not saying is it's a timed exclusive.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, let's see. Control in 6 weeks. Somebody just hit me on Twitter. It was watching. So I'm like, Control in 6 weeks. Yeah, I paid off Control, so I'm ready. You know, I got me a Control poster and everything. So I'm ready for that game. So it looks like it's going to be exciting. So, but somebody in the chat said not true. They think it's a true exclusive. So, all right, well, we'll have to wait and see. 1 year from now,
we shall see.
If it's 2021 and the game's still not out yet, for everybody's like, well, what are they doing over there? But so now you said you could switch consoles possibly. Do you are you interested in either one of the next gen consoles for PlayStation?
Why?
Or
they haven't showed me games I want. They haven't showed me games.
Are there games out now for it that you would play on the next gen console?
Why buy a next gen console when I can buy the current gen console and play the same games?
Well, that's true. I mean, when you're playing, you're playing it for the upgrades. I mean, allegedly, the games that are 30 FPS and 1800p on PlayStation are going to be true 4K. I guess that's true 4K. They're going to be 4K and possibly 60 frames a second.
Honey, I'm blind as a fucking bat, okay?
Okay.
I mean, literally, they're sending my glasses out to get them cut down as thin as possible because typically they're Coca-Cola thickness glasses. Do you actually think I care about things like that?
I did not know that. I didn't. So no.
I mean,
what games do you like to play? Are you like RPGs? Are you like
I play
platformers? Okay.
I play RPGs. Very, very few platformers I play unless it looks very, very interesting. I do some fighting games. I love simulation games like Farmville.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, like Farmville, Harvest Moon, things like that. Animal Crossing, those are like some of my favorites. I can't do any first-person shooters or first-person view games because it makes me sick. Some strategy games. I don't like strategic RPGs. I like some Western RPGs. I like JRPGs.
What's your favorite JRPG?
Right now, my favorite one that I have been playing has been Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, that is nothing. Yeah, no, that's a good one. What do you like the Dragon Age? Oh, wait a minute, I got to pay a bill.
Yes.
Right. So what Sony said during last gen of not buying third party exclusivity was last gen, but what Sony has made this generation with PS4, they may change that strategy. It's all time changing business. Yeah, that's true.
Very
it
true.
changes. It changes based on what that is. A SEK 109. Shout out to you. Is it Viger? Appreciate you, brother. So I have no idea what that is, but I appreciate it. I just like seeing the thing light up because it's only gonna because I think I can put this on OBS as well, but I gotta make sure I can put it on OBS as well. So because I'm gonna go to OBS after. I'll announce this now. After Comic-Con, which is next Friday, I'm gonna have a big Comic-Con wrap-up show on the 21st, 22nd. Then I'll do one or two more hangouts, and then it ends on August 1st. Hangouts is over, at least in my region. It may be different in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, but it ends. So they send an email
Google
every
Hangouts
day.
is in.
Yeah.
I still think that's because of Stadia being released and they're going to integrate it into Stadia.
Well, that's what I think too. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all that you would need a Stadia device to access Hangouts. But there's other places to go. Like again, that's why I'm messing with OBS. Everybody's worried about the games that I'm streaming on OBS. I'm like, guys, I'm recording gameplay that when I do podcasts later on, it'll be in the background. Playing in the background. So that's pretty much why I'm playing the game. I'm just recording them for like an hour. But
hey, what's up?
Hey, Tronny.
Tron woke up. Oh my goodness, it's 8:30 in the morning out there.
Yeah.
Oh, how was your night?
My night, I just woke up, so I'm doing great.
You just woke up? Oh, honey, get up and stretch and get outside. So, well, how are you feeling?
I forgot to do it today. I didn't know what time we're doing it, so I was like, okay.
Well, my goodness gracious, you still have sleep in your eye, don't you?
No, I'm actually fully awake.
Oh, okay. Well, alrighty. Well, Tron, what have you been playing? And are you excited for Grand Blue Fantasy?
I haven't really been playing a lot, but except for which game or something?
Is it Grand Blue Fantasy? I haven't seen you talking about it.
Grand Blue Fantasy. Yeah, I've been looking at the updates and everything. They just had a conference at Anime Expo, and they were talking about more about it, but they didn't really say too much detail because obviously. So we'll see. They said they're going to do more for the West.
Oh.
So that means might bring us some stuff over here. So, maybe PlayStation, maybe Nintendo, maybe Xbox might get some games. I don't know.
Well, are you more excited about, I got to pay another bill? Any news of this is from E1 Matador, the $5 holla. That is a $5 foot loan for a brother man. And that is any news of Sony first party shopping, hit that like button. House Marquee and Supermassive, possibly they could pull the trigger on. So that's what I was told. So I hope they get House Marquee. Out of all of them that I've seen, House Marquee. I actually will feel bad if they get Insomniac and Remedy and then they cut everybody off. They're like, all right, no more games for you guys. No soup for you. Like the soup Nazi on Seinfeld. But shout out to you, E1 Matador, for the $5 holla. So what about the Grand Blue Fantasy movie? Are you going to be first in line, Tron?
They already had the movie. The series, it comes on that just comes on. You can go on like sites like Crunchyroll, and I think they have it. And I don't know. I haven't really watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't watched the movie. I just been playing the games, so I might most be excited about the games and the movies. But I'm excited about the Lupin the Third movie, though the 3D one.
Yeah,
I don't like
When
that
that
one.
one's
Look good.
dropping?
Hmm?
When is that dropping?
I don't know. I know it's in Japan. It's come out in Japan, but I hope it comes to the U.S. because I'm a big fan of the series as well. So I mean, I've been watching Lupin the Third since when it first came out on ugh, it's been a while since I watched it. I mean, when it first came out was like back in 2005, 6. I was watching some episodes. I was like, dang, why didn't it come out before in the US?
Are you sure you're okay, Tron? The shadow people didn't come and try to get you last night?
No, everything's fine.
Okay.
No shadow people.
Yeah, okay. Let's make sure now. I know they like you. So.
My grandma's coughing, so I was gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been able to watch Robotech yet on Amazon Prime?
I've not watched Robotech in a year, so even the new ones, I have not watched them. The new.
Well, the new ones are trash.
Anime that much.
Yeah, the new ones are trash. I mean, just garbage. So,
are they that bad?
The new ones are bad. The characters are goofy. They're not grounded. Trash. As OBJ the Don would say.
I guess you could say like the older animes are always better because they stay focused on and break down the characters a lot.
Yeah.
Where the newer ones, they just go all over the place because they're not written by the original writers. Most of these animes are based off either more fan service or cliche storyline.
Okay.
That's why I don't watch a lot of the newer animes that much because of that. And I stay true to the classics myself, so maybe I sound like a little brat, old school brat, but sometimes I hate to say it, but the old schools are better than a lot of the new stuff because it just makes people take the originality and.
Oh yeah. I can't believe I got up. My alarm went off, and it was playing some rap song, and it was horrible. I'm like, people actually are listening to this. How? Why are you all doing this to yourself? But yeah. All right, so let me ask you something, Snow Bunny. You've played Dragon Quest 11, right? You said.
No, I'm getting. Okay. I'm getting it.
Okay,
that's
you have
like
to let
day
us.
One for me.
All right, you have to let us know what that blue ball is. There's like a blue ball.
It's a slime.
That's it? It's just a slime?
It's one of the monsters in the game.
Okay.
Oh, the slime. Oh.
I want the controller. Have you guys seen the controller?
I have not seen the controller.
In Japan, they are making a slime blue ball, the slime controller for the Switch, and it looks like a little slime.
Oh, who wants that?
It's super cute.
Oh.
I mean, if you're a fan of the series, you understand like that slime has been around.
And they usually, and when it came out on PS4 last year, they made a controller for the PS4. Pretty much like 2 or 3 past Dragon Quest games, they've made controllers for them, like a specialty controller that's only released there.
Oh,
but
it's just slime. But it's like it follows your character around, right?
You fight against them.
Oh, really? You fight against blue slime?
Yeah, they got the king slime. Get the king slime, man.
I was gonna get this. I was gonna buy this game, and I had to fight blue slime.
Yeah, it's one of the monsters in the game.
Okay.
Nothing elaborate, just one of the monsters in the game that everybody took a huge liking to.
So it keeps coming back.
Yeah, they're in multiple games.
Okay. Well, this is the 11th Dragon Quest, so I guess they They got to get the dragon right, I guess. So but shout out to I do need to get that game. Everybody keeps saying, buy it. It's a good game, so I need to go ahead and get it. So
I mean, I didn't go by Dragon Quest as well. Dragon Quest was like Dragon Warrior for a while because I remember that's what they used to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's a day one for me. My September is packed.
So what do you get? So what? Yeah, what are the next 2 games you ladies are getting? I'll start with you, Snow Bunny.
My next 2 games is Link's Awakening and AI the Summoner Files. And that same month, Dragon Quest is dropping. So all 3 of that one month.
Jeez, well, you're gonna be busy. What about you, Tron? What are you gonna get? Next 2 games.
I got 4 I really want to get, but I think my biggest ones are actually going to be September. I am going to try Baldur's Gate because you know I am a tabletop fan, so might as well play some of these games.
And that'll be on Game Pass if you all have Game Pass. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be on Game Pass as well, but I'd rather get the physical copies. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna get. What else gonna get? I was gonna get Cold Vein.
Yes.
That's definitely gonna be on my list. Actually, I might just get 2 more of the What else is coming out? Dang, there's a lot of stuff coming out. She's right. There's a lot of stuff coming out. I don't even know. I'm a person I don't think I'm pre-ordering anything much, really. I'm just going to go in there just get day one and just go and get it.
I have to pre-order in my area.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, yeah. I could just go walk over to GameStop and say, hey, you have that game? Don't, not right now. I'll go come in back and get it later. I've done that before.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just that in my area, if nobody pre-ordered certain games that I play, they won't even get them in stock.
Do they have to have a certain amount of pre-orders?
No, they just have to have a pre-order for a game. Prime example, when I got Death Note, I was the only person who pre-ordered the game. And I got the collector's edition. So they sent in my pre-order of the collector's edition. They sent in 1 other copy of it. One game I have, Steins Gate Elite. It came out in February. I didn't pre-order it, and I was waiting around till I got the funds to get it because I was like, oh, okay, I can just walk in and purchase it. I walked in the end of March, and the guy's going to argue me down, telling me, well, that game hasn't come out yet. I said, yes, it did. It came out in February. He said, oh, well, we didn't get a physical copy of the game.
Oh!
He said nobody pre-ordered it, so we didn't get any copies. They had to end up, I checked Walmart, Target, Best Buy, none of them got it. I had to end up going back to GameStop, and they had to order it from a store that's like 4 hours away driving because they ended up getting like 3 or 4 copies of it.
Oh, for pity's sake.
So if it's like a very niche or small titled game, I better pre-order it or else I'm not going to get it. Like because they knew I was looking for AI the Summoner Files because the only way you could pre-order that game was on Amazon.
Right.
Well, it finally showed up in their systems, and the 2 managers knew I was hunting for that game to pre-order because I've been trying to get them to pre-order it for like the last 3 or 4 months. They called me and said, hey, AI the Summoner Files just popped up in our systems. You can come in here, pre-order it. And I went right in there, and their district manager and everything was in there, and I got the collector's edition of it, put $45 down on it, and I bounced out. So that's the thing. If it's a small niche game.
Are you in a rural area?
Kind of, sorta. Okay. I mean, like I live I work in a college town.
Yeah.
But it's weird over here where I live at. But yeah, I'm not near like a major metropolitan city like DC or New York or anything like that.
Oh, you ever see any like strange lights or something in the sky?
Nah, not over here. Now, when I lived near DC, yeah, I saw shit all the time over there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I heard that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, now we come to first things first. Tron, you forgot to say something when you came in. Tron. Are you still there? All right. We'll have to come back to it. All right. So this is a new part of the podcast I put on my Make Craig Cool Again hat. So go ahead, you two ladies, make Craig cool again. What is something cool I could do to impress the millennials that are just out of control?
Dude, I just sit back and look at them like these are the kids that might be taking care of me when I'm in a senior citizen home. I need to kill myself before I go in.
Damn.
I have no kids and all that stuff. Nah,
Never get
and they
married?
gonna be taking, huh? No, I'm not married. I don't have kids. Not married, but I'm gonna be the one going into a senior citizen home, and these kids eating Tide Pods and shit are gonna be taking care of me. Something wrong here now.
No,
I mean, and I thought robo tripping was bad when I was younger. That was pretty damn tame compared to Tide Pods and licking ice cream and all this shit.
Yeah, they've caught like 3 people doing that. Like they're looking at 10 years.
The first, well, that became because Craig, you remember the Tylenol poisonings of the 80s?
Oh, yeah.
I was a small kid then. That's the reason these laws are in effect with tampering with consumer goods, because all those people were murdered for the people tampering with the Tylenol.
Yeah.
So that shit is not funny. They're going to crack down. Like the first girl who got caught doing it, come to find out she was a minor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to charge. That's Homeland Security. That's a federal charge. So, because after 9/11, they made tampering with food is technically, they can charge you with an act of terrorism.
Exactly.
In theory, they could. And it's just, to me, if you're going to do that, just do it and throw it away. Take the shoplifting hit. Take that. Oh, okay. Just take that and live to see another day. Just take the shoplifting thing and get thrown out of the store. And if they prosecute you on that, first time offense, you're a minor. Just retarded. What the hell is going on with these people?
I don't know. I just look around like, okay, something's going on. I don't understand it.
Go ahead. I was going to say, go ahead, Tron. Go ahead.
No. Since not finished, so I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was going to say, no kids are not married. So what's the worst date you've ever been on? like you text somebody to say, get me out of here. Like that Pikachu said to in that Pikachu movie, get me the hell out of here. Like somebody took you to a restaurant and forgot their wallet type of date.
So I ended up I went on like some dating website. I don't even remember what dating website it was.
Was it Tinder?
I don't even remember because like I said, this so I was sitting on the website, so this guy started talking to me and everything. And I'm looking at his profile and everything. He's like, well, I'm 5'10", blasey. So I'm like 5'3". So I'm short. So I'm like, okay, we set up to go out on this date. And so I'm like, okay. Yeah. So it's like a blind date and we live in the same area. Mm-hmm. So, I'm thinking, okay, he's 5'10". I'm 5'3". I can wear my like 2.5-inch shoes and still be shorter than him and everything. So I show up for the date. And this dude is shorter than me.
With the heels on or without the heels?
Both. So I'm sitting here like, like literally when I hug this dude, I almost fall over him because of how short he was.
So that ruined the date, just from the jump.
So I'm sitting here like, if this guy can lie about his height, which is something minor, what else is he lying about?
Did he forget his wallet?
I don't know, man, because I was just sitting here like, this dude
I don't think I could date someone who's. I was gonna say I don't think I could date somebody.
I mean, and like, mind you, I'm 5'3". So if I took my shoes off and I was still taller than this dude, he had to be like 4 something.
And he said he was 5'10", almost 6 feet tall.
Yes. So,
was his name Tyrone?
No. So we go through the date and everything. And I'm thinking, okay, so we set up for a second date, and I decide, like, I had him pick me up at my apartment.
Oh, you went back out with him, even though he
was so because it was an interesting conversation, but I had no shoes on because I really wanted to see how tall this dude was, and I was still about 3-4 inches taller than him.
Oh my! Weren't you all the cute little Oompa Loompas walking around?
So it didn't like go anywhere after that. But yeah, my mom still laughs about that day because I called her up on my way home. It was like midnight. I called her up. I said, "Ma, this dude was shorter than me." She like, "What?
How is that possible?"
I know, because she's taller than me, and she calls me a little munchkin. I said, "Ma, this dude was shorter than me." She said, "What?" She said, "How is that possible?" So yeah. That was like, I was like, okay, no more dating websites on that note.
I love it. Okay, Tron, your turn. Worst date you went out on and you just had to get the hell out of there like a Pikachu. Tron. She disappeared. So
I mean, now the only time I really did like call a friend and tell me to get me the hell out of there was when I went to my family reunion, and I realized that entire half of the family was crazy. I called my friend screaming help, and he was like, "I can't. You're in Tennessee."
Oh shit.
Well, by golly, I love it. This is hilarious. This is a good laugh on Sunday morning. What's up, Lincoln Clay? Yeah, brother. When you're ready to restart, Welcome to Wakanda. Let me know, brother. Let me know. Tron, are you awake now?
I'm awake.
Okay. All right. Well, let's have it. Worst date you've been on. I'll go next. I don't want you all to think that I'm being creepy here. I've not had.
No. I ask these questions on the round table as well, so ain't no difference.
It ain't no difference. I've not heard it. What's one of the worst ones where you just threw your hands up in the air and said, "Get me the hell out of here"? No name.
Oh man.
It could be back when you were 2000. You can be back when you were a little Tron, but something that's entertaining. Mine is I've never had one because I'm just that smooth. We go to Applebee's, I get a mucho mudslide, and then I would let I spit my game. But go ahead, Tron. Go ahead and get me.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. I think the worst was back in.
You don't have to give us a date. Just go ahead and take it. You don't have to give us a time.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out back. I think a while back.
So back in the day.
My worst experience was just. Oh man, I had so many bad experience in dating. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all.
What's it?
The worst was my friend's brother. You found out he had a crush on me and everything. So it was like, okay, had to go with a date and everything.
Oh, that's sweet of you.
Dude, you're trying to be nice.
Yeah, sweet of you, brother's friend.
But yeah, I have no problem with that. But he had the worst body odor.
Oh,
he came out with no brush his teeth. He trying to act like I said, just be yourself, but he trying to be like something else, like you always. But
he was himself with that body odor.
Yeah, it was hard to hug him, and they were like, I ain't trying to hug or anything. He's hugging, trying to kiss. I'm like, no, and everything. I walk in. And we were just talking and stuff and everything. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, God, man. I was, you try to be nice, but you can't in the same time. The first thing, my friend's like, what? I'm like, yeah, he came out just awful. We went to movie theaters. And that's even worse. But at the same time,
Oh.
movie theaters, you like I was in the back, so we were like the back area, so we were nowhere near a bunch of people and stuff like that. And
Oh
I'm sitting there
no.
like, oh,
Oh no.
So he
forgive me, I'm
smelled
still kind of like groggy, but it's
like.
just getting to the point like this. I never really told this story because it was horrible. I mean,
Oh my
I told my
God.
friend
I would
about
have
it. She
been
said,
finished
"Oh, I
something.
thought I was like, he came out like that. Like, yeah, and it makes it worse. He's a smoker.
Uh-huh.
Oh Lord.
So he can't. He won't be in Gears of War. Then he won't be in the new Gears of War.
Even Gears of War. This is back
Oh
in
my.
2005,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm
Oh
like,
So that
God.
was nice. You went with the friend of your brother, but he smelled like he needed the Xbox body wash. That what you're saying? He needed Xbox body
he
wash.
probably
Oh.
well, if he was an Xbox player, I mean, he should have. I didn't care. Well, shoot, I was thinking about just go buy him some like a set. Shit, right now, because it was like a set of body wash. It's
Did you
just
go back out? Did you give him a
Did
chance?
you
Good, yeah. Did you give him a second chance?
no,
No.
no, no, no.
did you give him a body wash bath set for Christmas?
I think we only did one. I had one date. That was it. I told my friend never again.
What was your brother then, right? You said it was your brother's friend, right?
No, I told my friend never again.
Oh, okay. Never again. Okay.
That was her brother.
Oh.
He smelled like a sweaty sock.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I told her everything.
Lord.
She's like, when she was upset with him, she said, I thought he was," she was like, she yelled at him apparently.
Well, was the movie any good
Oh.
at least? Did you at least get to see a good movie? You said you went to the movie theater.
No, I
Oh,
was
no.
not happy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Lord, that sounds like somebody we used to work with. So the boss had a problem, but she was non-confrontational, but she was passive aggressive. So at Christmas time, they all donated like towels and soap and toothpaste and toothbrushes into this gift basket to give to this guy.
Oh, well, that's kind of a way because it's a gift basket. The dude. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah. Well, I had tears in my eye. I got to laugh so hard. I wanted you ladies, both you black. I need both you young black ladies here. What do you?
I ain't that young. I don't think I'm that far behind you, Craig.
Okay, fair enough. Um, is it hard being a female gamer in today's society?
Not as
And then
hard as it used to be.
not as hard. All right, what is okay? So unpack that. Not as hard as it used to be. So
back
what
in
do
the
you mean?
day back in the day, like I used to play like Magic the Gathering. I used to play like video games, stuff like that. When I would go into like prime example, me and my ex roommate, he used to play Magic, but he had stopped playing, so I had to reteach him how to play with all the new rules and stuff. We would go into tournaments and stuff, and when it was like a new place we were playing, all the guys would look at me and be like, "Oh, so your boyfriend taught you how to play Magic?" And
Mm-hmm.
my roommate would look at them as like, she knew how to play before me. I'm not her boyfriend, and she retaught me how to play Magic.
Oh,
And
so
they would
there's a lot of assumptions being made because you're a woman.
exactly. When you used to go into places like you used to hardly ever see girls playing Magic the Gathering. You used to go into video game shops to pick up video games and stuff, and guys would have this persona of, oh, so what games do you play? Oh, well, you need to play this and you need to do that. Or when you're playing games, they used to be like, and some of them still do it, be like, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. Like, it got to the point of so bad that like about 15 years ago, I stopped dating gamers because I got tired of hearing the bullshit from them of how I should play, what I should do, and this, that, and the other from dating a guy that was a gamer. Now it's like, fast forward 15, 20 years. Now it's like, oh, you play video games? What type of games do you play? Oh, I never played that type of game. It's so much more accepting now than it
Mm-hmm.
was 20 years ago.
All right, damn. So it's more mainstream.
Exactly.
Okay, Okay, and for women and men, and you can just strike up a conversation easier.
Yeah, or when you go
it.
into like a game store or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the guys are not looking at you like you're crazy, and they're not looking at looking for your boyfriend or anything like that, because they're like, oh, okay, you're in here to buy games.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you were a girl walked into a game store and you were up there buying games, they would A, automatically look for your boyfriend when you walked in, or B, when they realized you didn't have a boyfriend with you, they hit on you, like trying to get a date with you, just to tell you shit like that. So it's like, okay, whatever.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
I
I remember
understand.
they.
Go ahead, Tron.
She's right. I never really had that much experience because area no one did really question, but they did kind of go and ask you like, oh, this is the kind of this type of game. It'd be like some little cutesy game. Well, I know nothing wrong with those type of games, but they'll tell you like games that you think they'll give you games that they're made for children almost or somewhere in that line, and they'll ask you like, oh, this type of game is coming out. You like, no, I want, I'm not saying I was a hardcore like into shooter games, but I'm asking about, oh, what about the other games? What about what's on the PlayStation?
Mm-hmm.
So they'll try to give you like they don't try to do that as much anymore, because I remember reading remember the old advertisement they had, like was about the Game Girl
Yeah,
advertisement on the GameStop that used to
yeah,
be famous. To like you see like the little section when it said Game Girl, it was always like Barbie or some other stuff. I'm like, that was the thing they always confuse girls as. We want games like that,
right.
but and I was like, are they preferring as a child, or you didn't know what they were really trying to, that's what kind of what they did. They kind of treated girls like children.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and
that's what
like,
they used to. I remember getting that kind of treatment. But over the years, when they kept seeing me coming in there, they were like, okay, you want this type of game. So they knew I was an RPG fan. So they start giving me the RPG games mostly. So
yeah,
when you become a regular, they'll start knowing what you want. They don't try to
Mm-hmm.
discriminate you. So it depends on where you go. But if you go to a place like, I never had a guy question me about any games though, but they'll try to pop these questions like, "Oh, you heard about this game?" Well, they'll ask me like games that they think I never heard of, but I will be like asking the question like, "Oh, okay." So she know her stuff. They test me.
yeah,
That's what they do to you. They test you.
yeah, and now it's a whole lot less testing than it was back in the day. Like
Yeah, they.
one like a ex-boyfriend of mine, when I was younger, like because I had a bad accident and shit like that, where I used to love Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat was my game. Okay. My ex was up here talking about, oh, well, I could beat you. He's like, you can't be that good, this, that, and the other. I remember we were at the arcade. That tells you how long ago this was.
Mm-hmm.
We were
Mm-hmm.
at the arcade and Mortal Kombat 2 was in the arcade. I said, let's play Mortal Kombat. He's like, I don't want to embarrass you. I don't want to do this. After him losing like 6 straight matches, he didn't want to play anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm
He
a
didn't
Mortal
want to play
Kombat fan,
anymore.
so I don't play people with Mortal Kombat because it's unfair.
Yeah,
Like,
those arcade has proven a lot of people. I'm telling you, those arcades kind of like called a lot of people's bluff on that stuff because it's sometimes.
yeah,
And
Street
after that,
Fighter.
he never wanted to play any fighting games with me. Mortal Kombat was out. He really didn't want to play many games at all with me because he knew I was better than him in some games. And that was just hilarious to me. He never brought up video games again to me. I was like, okay.
You hurt him. You hurt his You kind of really hurt his feelings. He kind of
I'm
he
not
felt
going
like,
to
damn.
you. Tronny, didn't we have this conversation? If you go to bring your big boy panties in and then get beat and go hurt your feelings, then you shouldn't have come in wearing your big boy panties thinking you all that in a bag of chips.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like their feelings are hurt. That's what it is. They don't like
Yeah,
that.
that's true. I remember an ex-girlfriend of mine. She beat me playing basketball. She shot a left-handed hook. I'm like, ain't no way you're gonna make a left-handed bank. She banked it in. I was mad. So I was mad for like 10 seconds. I got over it. So we went out and got ice cream. So
Oh no, he wasn't that forgiving. He it was like that we went to the movies and then the date that night. He talked to me the next day, but for the rest of the night he was a little sad.
oh
He
my
had
gosh.
some issues.
Did he ever ask for a rematch?
Nope.
His pride. His pride.
All right, so you're saying it's
Between
not
his legs.
as
That's all it was.
so you both think it's not as bad, but you think that all right, what do you all think of the crossover with the video game players and comic book people? Do you think they're kind of cut from the same cloth, or do you think
They're
that
cut from the same cloth.
They're cut from the same cloth. I hang out in a comic book store. They're cut from the same cloth.
yeah.
I feel
Because
like
of
they're still. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you'll probably already say this too, Tronny. In the comic book world, we're still not as accepted as easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
they're cut from the same cloth. It's slowly changing. Like my comic book store, like when people come in there like who are new or never seen me before, and they start giving me some slack, like the owner of my comic book store, I was playing Magic with this guy for like 10, 11, 14 years.
Mm.
So he's been trying to get me to get back into playing Magic because he was like, you were a very good player. He said,
Yeah.
you need to start back to playing. And I was like, nah, I got too many other things going on. But when
Mm-hmm.
they tried to give me some slack, he's like, hold up. He's like, I've known Jackie for this long and this, that, and the other. You're not going to do that to her in my shop. Because I knew him before he owned the shop. Actually, I knew the previous owner who opened the shop. I used to play Magic with him and stuff too. So yeah, it depends on where you're going and how often you go there and how well you know the people. Like in my shop, they leave me alone. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I have any issues with like any of the employees, I could call him up and be like, "Hey, what's up with your employee?" And he'll have a talk with them because he'll kick people out of his shop because he doesn't tolerate people treating people differently just because they're male or female or if they're a stranger or whatnot. He doesn't care because
Right.
he's like, my bottom line is my money. He's like,
Correct.
you're always pay for everything up front and you never ask me for a discount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
comic
Well,
books, yeah, these comic book stores are very rare, and so when you go in there, start making people leave and uncomfortable, you messing with the owner's money.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta be careful, and also, yeah, you're right about that. The issue is the fact that you do come to a comic book store, you do get that sense of feeling of you don't know what you're talking about kind of feel. But I'm looking at the newer guys, I'm looking at them these days. I'm like, y'all don't know anything about these comic books. Y'all just assume that this comic is this, and y'all didn't read the ones back in the days. They were more hardcore. The stuff y'all read now is very tame.
Oh my God, is it? I got out of
Yeah,
comic
it's
books
very
because
tame.
it
It's
it
like,
changed so
no.
much. I was like, you know what? I'm not wasting my money to read something this minor.
Mhm. I remember comic books. Marvel used to be hardcore back in the days. I'm gonna be real with you. Now it's like you read the comics. It's like okay. I mean, they're just I don't know, but it got to a point where I just don't really. I look for like different type of comic books, but now there's like half of those pages are nothing but advertisements. Back then you didn't see that much advertisements. Now it's like every 2 pages you're gonna see advertisement, another 2 pages you're gonna see advertisement, another 2 pages. Like I'm paying for
Yeah,
more advertising than I am paying for the dang story.
I agree. That's
And they're
unfortunate.
not cheap. They're not
They're
cheap.
not.
That's the
They're
thing.
they're
Mhm.
like $5
I mean, they're
and
paying for
some
all those
more.
advertisements to go in there. You shouldn't be charging as much as you're charging for your comic because you're getting paid by the revenue from the advertisements.
Hmm.
And then you give
That's
us
why
a
people
crappy
going online now.
story. And then every year you want to like I said, I got out right when the 52 came out and they started rebooting it every year. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore.
I'm bad as hell. They got rid of those stories in the new 52. I was really
Oh,
enjoying
52s
them.
were garbage.
Well, to me, they weren't the new Wonder Woman in New 52. I liked.
I only like the Harley Quinn in the 52 and Aquaman, because Aquaman is one of my favorite comic book heroes of all times, and Harley Quinn, I just love Harley Quinn. I mean, like,
yeah, but Harley Quinn got no superpowers.
She's a bubbly sociopath, a psychopath. Who cares about?
Well, that she is. Everybody's like, well, she's cute to look at. Yeah, bubbly.
They classify her as a bubbly psychopath.
That's true. That is true.
But she's a psychiatrist. People forget that.
I know. I mean, so yeah. I mean, and like I said, she got introduced during Batman the animated series, and she took off from there. So it's not like she was all the way there from the very, very beginning of Batman and Joker saga.
And she's also the most cosplay player or cosplay person that's ever done. So Harley Quinn is, but her stuff's the easiest to make. You know,
Poison Ivy
I
is
like
pretty
the classic.
Easy.
Gotta give me the classic Harley Quinn, man.
Yeah, the classic Harley Quinn is good. Like I found, and I didn't tell you this, Tronny, I found a Harley Quinn diamond painting of her in her semi-older outfit. I'm going to be getting it. I'll show it on the thing, but I'm going to do that in like a video game related crafting video, because I'm gearing to get a bunch of different diamond paintings that's video game related. But yeah, so, but that's the thing. Harley Quinn, because she's more like, I think she became so popular because she could be that girl next door that goes psycho. Not like Poison Ivy, who's green and grew up with the ability to grow plants and stuff.
True.
No, she's that botany.
She's a botanist.
Yeah, she's a botanist. Yeah, she's a good one. So, are you all excited for Comic-Con then, with Marvel's big announcements coming up on Friday with Phase 4? Will be officially announced on Friday.
Not really, because I was more of a DC person than Marvel. I haven't even watched all the Marvel superhero movies yet.
I was more of a Marvel's like low-key stories at times. I was into X-Men, but then I started reading other stories they had in there that they don't really talk. It was mostly came from the animation. I basically got into a lot of the Marvel stuff. The animation really, but I hate to say it, but the Marvel animation is a lot better from the 90s than it is now. And
I agree. Yep.
And if you look at like some of the I always wish Marvel would focus on Gambit a little bit more, because he was one of my favorite male characters.
Well, Gambit
and Bishop. I want those two to team up. I want Bishop and Gambit to team up, because those are like my two favorite male characters.
There's a Gambit movie he's supposed to be played by all that guy that's not that good of an actor. You can see his face.
I thought they canceled it.
Well, no, not technically. They just put it on. They iced it. They haven't, but they have to wait to see what Marvel announces. Because I'm thinking Gambit should be the first quote unquote mutant that they encounter in the MCU. I think that would just be a nice introduction. So for the way you, because everybody's like, well, we'll see Fantastic Four. Like, let's have Gambit. You know.
Now let me ask you guys this question.
I mean, Marvel needs to step their game up with other characters besides the ones they have. I want to see characters they don't really pay attention to, because at least DC, they got their TV shows, and they get a little more interesting of characters, in my opinion.
That's true. Sadly, their DC shows are good. Yeah.
So I got this question to ask you guys. Do you guys remember X Factor?
The TV show?
Yeah.
The comic book. That was like the precursor to X-Men almost.
Okay. No, I do not remember that one.
Yeah, it had Cyclops and it's just like, I remember reading them in the 80s. That was was awesome. It like evolved into like the X-Men and everything. But I missed the X Factor.
Man, if you're a collector, they got some that are worth a little bit of cash. I'm looking at them. So, yeah, you're right. It looks like they had Cyclops and Beast, and I don't know if that's Rogue. But yeah, Yeah, that looks like a Silver Surfer. Looks like he's in there. So
yeah, Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer was a really good. I remember they showed like Silver Surfer needs to. They need to bring him back. If they bring him back and kept his arc of his story, then I would have been more happy.
That was the
more
ice
happy
guy,
person.
right?
yeah.
Silver Surfer. No, he's a. I forgot. I don't remember he was an alien or a human that became a. Or
No, but he had the
crossed
ice
into an alien.
powers.
Well, there's Ice, but Silver Surfer's got some different kind of powers.
Yeah, he's like metal. I think it was.
Yeah,
I don't
more of
remember. It's
like
been
a
a
low
while.
level. Yeah.
I think the ice powers. I think that was later. What's her name? What's her name? Snow Queen? Not Snow Queen, but Frost. Emma
Yeah,
Frost.
Emma Frost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Emma Frost.
I think they should do. Maybe introduce like a Laura Dane. That would be cool too, as a for a mutant.
That's what I
Then,
said. Do characters that no one doesn't talk about, or do some characters from back in the '90s. I mean,
yeah.
Man, my favorites were Gambit and Jubilee.
Yeah, Jubilee was
Jubilee,
kind of. They kept changing her
not thought that
powers.
Yeah, they kept changing her powers, but the original Jubilee, she was awesome.
Sparky Spark.
Yes.
She was adorable. I just thought Jubilee was adorable. I mean, they kind of like. I feel like she was the Sakura of. She's Naruto Sakura from in the X-Men because they treated her at the time. So I'm like, damn.
They had a lot of good potential, but they just didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, a lot of.
I mean, I just hope that I hope Disney. Well, I'm not saying just Disney, but I hope this Marvel just starts paying attention to characters that actually not just rebooting just the characters, just giving the characters some good damn like to keep the just get some really good storyline because lately a lot of their I hate to say a lot of the writing of these Marvel characters are so plain. It's kind of like I miss the Fox versions. At least the Fox versions kind of kept with the originals. Original originality, with the characters. They kept they made sure Blade, man.
Yeah.
Those really talk about it, but Blade, the very first movie, was the best movie I have ever seen of.
Well, Wesley Snipes has been in talks. He's talked to Kevin Feige about reprising that, and the talk is that John Boyega may possibly be the new Blade. Possibly, he's on a short list. John Boyega's got the lead right now. Yeah.
Get the original director. Let's get the original director. Don't get the ones that from the second and third movie.
Well,
Blade 3 was terrible. See, I like Blade 2, but a Blade 1, I agree. It set that tone. Yeah, that was out the same time the original Matrix came out, and those different type of movies. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah.
But you got to remember, Wesley Snipes kind of burnt. From what I remember, he burnt the bridges complaining about Blade 3, and they were like they were never going to direct him. I mean, never put him as Blade again, from what I had heard.
Yeah, and I think he went to prison for IRS stuff, and I think he's at least been able to sit down and talk to Kevin Feige now. If Feige took the meeting, that means he's kind of, it's something that he's interested in. So how they could go forward, and even if Blade moves into the part of, is it Whistler? He kind of moves into that type of role, and then a new Blade, a new vampire, day-walking vampire comes along and gets the name Blade. So, but
I mean, the only thing I liked about Blade, Blade 3, the story arc was kind of weird to me. It was actually an okay movie. I just think they went over the top with the theatrics of it, like an arrow that can go around corners and things. The theatrics of it was too much, but the story was actually good, where it was the original vampire who went to sleep and got mad because the other vampires woke him up because he was just like, I'm tired of this life, and there's no way he could die because he was a day walker also.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Yeah,
I mean, I think the story was good and the premise is good, but I think the theatrics they put in the movie was over the top.
And Ryan Reynolds in it.
Who cares? The theatrics of it was over the top.
They did. The theatrics was over the top.
Yeah, I mean, but that because like when I saw the arrow go around the corner, I was like, "What? Are you serious?"
It was terrible. And then they had the one guy playing, was he Dracula or the son of Dracula or something like that?
No,
yeah,
he was the first.
Dracula?
He was the very first that he was the start of them all.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. And he was killing vampires himself because he was mad that they woke him up.
That's me. Oh my gosh.
I mean, but that's the thing. He went to sleep and purposely hid himself to get away from the world. And then they decided to dig him up so they could become more powerful. He got mad. So he was looking for other means to, survive. And then you saw at the end of the movie, as he was dying, he said, okay, I see now what my legacy is, when he was telling that to Blade or something.
Yeah.
And because he saw Blade as the new version of him and he was happy. Because you notice he didn't get mad while he was dying. He was just happy he was dying.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the movie was it was all over the place, though. You got to at least give it that.
Yeah, it was all over the place. Like Anne Rice took that concept also of a being in the beginning that started all of the vampires, and that was the Egyptian king and pharaoh. You see them in you see the queen in Queen of the Damned movie, but the movies don't follow the movies. The books were much better.
Oh.
Yeah, because in the books, the first movie followed the book pretty closely, Interview with the Vampire. Well, Queen of the Damned made Lestat a rock star and everything. They actually combined the second book and the third book, which is the Vampire Lestat. In Vampire Lestat, he became a rock star and everything. And Queen of the Damned is when the two who started the king and queen of an Egyptian pharaoh is the ones who started the whole populace of the vampires were awakened, and the queen killed the king.
Well, was it the late Aaliyah? Didn't she play the Queen of the Damned? Or tried to play the Queen of the Damned? Yeah, it was
she played. That was her last
movie. Yeah, she died before they could finish the movie.
Yeah, trash. Yeah, I do remember that because they ended up using her stunt double in some of the roles.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It was crazy, and you could tell it was the double, even though they had the makeup on and stuff like that. You could just tell it wasn't her. But yeah, I do remember when it came out. So,
but yeah, the books were far better than, because I never watched. Because when I saw them saying Lestat was a rock star and Queen of the Damned, I was like, that's part 2 of the movie book series. I never even bothered to watch it because I knew they had changed it so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they usually do. They gotta adapt it to the Hollywood. That's why those people get screenwriting awards for best adaptation. That's what they've done. They've they've taken it. Tron, I didn't get to your opinion. I didn't hear. What did you think about the Final Fantasy thing? It looks like it's going to be an exclusive on the PlayStation for a little bit.
Well, I'm just a little like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I didn't really care if it was going to be exclusive on the PlayStation. I mean, it's just, hey, I played Final Fantasy for so long. It's just like, to me, it doesn't really matter what console gets it or not. But Final Fantasy 7, it's always everyone's favorite classic game because it's like everybody's first game on the PlayStation, so that's their first Final Fantasy game. If you ever played the Nintendo ones, then yeah, it was original on the Nintendo. But I feel like I feel like if you think about it, this new one, it doesn't look half bad. I forgot I might pre-order that one because it comes with a chocobo, and I'm just like, I'm a big fan of little birds. So. Yeah, the chocobos are cute. I mean, I know people got the limited collector's edition when it comes with the statue of Cloud, but I'm just like, nah, I'll just get the other one that comes with the art book and everything. So
you sure you're not going to get this and not get Anthem? Apparently at Best Buy, you can get the Anthem Steelbook with the game, the Legend of Dawn edition, for $14.99.
I'm good. I was just talking about Anthem, like potential Anthem and stuff last time, but I'm just like, EA is just not been really. I don't think I'm going to get Dragon Age 4 at all.
Really?
No.
Wow.
I thought about it. It's like, no.
Wow.
Oh, well, EA ruined it for me. EA ruined a lot of games for me. I loved, and
well, I think a lot of people try to understand it because Xbox last generation was the leading platform. They went, a lot of these companies, Ubisoft, a lot of these companies, okay, went with the online. People are going to be online all the time. Had just Snow Buddy was just talking about this online all the time type of service-based module, and that's why games like Evolve came out, and EA stayed on that course. And even with Mass Effect Andromeda, which was trash, they kept the multiplayer going, but they canceled the single-player expansion. The Corporean DLC, but that's because they thought people were going to be online all the time.
My ban of EA is eternal.
Yes, I'm buying Madden because I always buy Madden, so I'm good with that. But overall, it's sad.
I mean, if you look at it, it's just like me when Mass Effect Andromeda came out. When I heard about Mass Effect Andromeda, I was excited.
Yes.
The first time I heard about it, I was like excited. I'm like, oh yay! I think it was like 2 E3s. We didn't hear anything about it. I think 2016. I think we heard about it. I think it was 2015 or 16. I can't remember.
Yeah.
We heard about it. I just didn't care for it. No, 2015 we heard about it. 2016, I started to have feelings like, okay, we still haven't heard anything. 2017, I just said, we watched it, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't really care about it. I posted on my page. I literally just posted like I was talking to my girl like I don't really care about it. I just don't care.
You get tired of waiting.
2017 they released it, and it was 2017 they released it, and I saw the backlash, like hardcore backlash on that game.
Yeah. Well, I was part of the people that backlash. I will give the people credit who had the Mass Effect run-up sites, the Andromeda run-up sites. Their sites are gone. They stopped podcasting. So because they were like, yeah, this game did not work. One of them said, "What's the point of having a Mass Effect dedicated channel when there is no game to talk about?" So and he let his channel go. To his credit, and I'm giving credit where credit is due. So, because a lot, and then what do you all think about of course, my wonderful prediction, and you heard it here first weeks ago when I said because the console war was ending, you were going to start having podcasts come to a stop. And so far, 2 Xbox-centric podcasters, if you want to call them that, have ended their podcasts. So what do you all think about my illustrious prediction, being the king of Xbox and all?
Your illustrious prediction was common sense. I was trying to figure out why they were sticking around because there's been nothing, absolutely nothing going on in the Xbox court for them to have a podcast. Now, canceled completely, Maybe they are, or they might just be on hiatus for a while, thinking they're going to be canceled forever. But I mean, if you have no information coming out from your platform of choice, how are you going to have a podcast? I mean, that's just.
Well, I mean, you could have speculation about ray tracing.
Yeah, huh? Like I said, okay. Here's my thoughts on that. Xbox has the most powerful console this generation with the Xbox One, but they have nothing to show for it. Why are you going to hype up the next gen console hardware when you have the most powerful system this gen and nothing's utilizing it?
Yeah, the fact that they were totally dependent on third party, I think, is what sunk them. And I think the realization that they actually thought third party games were more important than exclusive games. I'm like, look, the Nintendo system and the PlayStation have that's proof in real time that you're wrong. So that's your proof. You don't have to argue about this. That we have proof that that's not right. So 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 yeah, but I understand what you're saying.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you have them, and you're relying on third party to carry your system. What about first party? I
Yeah,
mean, people, if you're going to rely on third party, you might as well go to a console that gives you third party and first party.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, yeah, granted, the graphics might be cut down or whatever, but why are you going to pay $500 just to play third party games?
Yeah, when you can build a PC that does it better than
Exact same thing.
and they're like, well, you may pay a little bit more money on the PC. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to upgrade it. You won't have to upgrade it, for maybe another 3 years. So
Exactly. So I mean, those are the types of things you have to look at, like um the people who had Xbox centric podcasts, and they were carrying the torch for but so long. I mean, like for me, in my opinion, it was 3 years too late, but
facts.
um they carried that torch, and now they're just like, okay, whatever. I mean,
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Tron, what do you think of my illustrious prediction as king of Xbox, declaring the end of the heresy of the podcast?
I think it was already. I already saw the signs where a lot of people who were very hardcore Xbox fans are either
What
stop
were
playing
the
Xbox
signs?
or going to
Yeah.
Nintendo, PlayStation, or PC. When I saw, I think Red Dragon, I think that was that guy. He
That's
used to be a hardcore Xbox
yeah.
fan
Good
last
point.
year.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, he
And he
switched. Yeah.
started going towards PC and then criticized everything Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, he criticized PlayStation too, but not as much as Xbox because that was his preferred choice for the longest time. And
Yeah.
then, because I remember his stuff way back when in 2017 and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I do remember some of these. Don't get me wrong, I do remember some of these guys, but not all of them. That's why but I do remember he used to be very hardcore. But over time, he mellowed out and just said, fuck, I'm going on PC. And I remember he was very hardcore. He was with them, but now he trolls half the time. But other than that, but I see some of the dudes like I see some of the guys, especially Key Mega. He's really Key Mega. He's still very hardcore Xbox, but he's mellowing down too. But he's still with Xbox, but he's mellowed down to the point he's starting to make some sense. But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
it's I don't disagree with that. Now, I haven't listened to him. I know they were calling him El Mega for some reason.
Yeah, they call him Omega, but there's some point he'll call out Xbox too. I know that he'll throw shots at Xbox sometimes. So
Yeah, there's still only a few. I think there's one or maybe two Xbox centric podcasts that are out there that they're not going to go away. They're going to keep on keeping on. So talking about ray tracing and shaders and CUs and T flops and all that stuff. So,
but then they're not Xbox centric; they're spec centric.
I don't disagree. You're right. You're right.
They only care about the hardware, but not the actual brand itself. Because I guarantee you could take all those specs off that they're pumping up and everything and put it in another console, and guess what? They'll be hyping it all up on that console.
So they're not really Xbox centric. They're not Xbox centric. They're just, like I said,
the ones that's leaving are the ones who are gamers and who are like upset that they have no games or nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Those are the ones who are like, okay, what's going on? We're promoting you, but you're giving us nothing for our promotion. You're not giving us anything. You're not giving us anything to be happy about.
Yeah. What happened was when Satya Nadella became the CEO of that company, he met with all the departments at Microsoft, all the departments, you know,
of course,
and they all, yeah, and he's looking at, and every department was in the black except Xbox. So he told Phil he had to figure something out, and that's why they stopped with the whole exclusivity thing, because they weren't going to waste money on it, you know, because people were buying their games. I mean, so and that's why they canceled Scalebound and all that kind of stuff. So they still blame Platinum Games for misuse of funds. Talking about the community, they blame Platinum Games. They'll say, well, it was canceled because Platinum Games stole their money to finish whatever game they had been working on before then, even though that's not true.
If that was the case, they would have been in serious trouble.
Yeah, that's a crime.
That was really false.
Yeah, so they had that happen, and Phil Spencer turned them into a service. They changed their metric of success. They no longer talk about sales. They talk about the engagement of users. They actively are willing to put games on their rivals' platforms. This is all in the record now. And you know, because this is, you know, you can go research that yourself. And yeah, that was the end. They're a third party developer now, but that's fun.
I've already stated that they're a third party developer for the Switch. Phil Spencer said that himself, which cracks me up still. But
and then he admitted, then he said, "What, the other day you don't need to buy an Xbox, you know, to play our games." And that's what they've wanted to do, is get out of the hardware side and just be software based. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, to be honest with you, I was talking to my friends. This was like years ago, before I ever like did YouTube or Twitter or anything like this. Mm-hmm. When they made the announcement of what the Xbox One was going to be at in that 2003 E3, mm-hmm. I looked dead at my friends. I said, they're trying to turn Xbox players into PC players. Mm. And my friend was like, nah, they wouldn't do anything like that. I said, come on. I said, think about it. With the no sharing of games, the no use games policy, that's like PC. When you buy a PC game and you enter that code, that's it. You can never resell that game again.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so they were trying to do that back then, no DRM, things like that. Well, when they got the huge backlash from it, they changed their motto and things like that. But over the years, they've started implementing those same things that they were going to do all at once. They've started implementing them slowly into a market, to where people are sitting here like, oh, okay, it's fine. But back then it wasn't fine because they're going to do it all at once. So now they're slowly implementing everything, like with Game Pass, with going all digital, like the Xbox One Sat Edition, all digital edition. You're buying your games digital. That's it. You can't resell that game. You can't do anything with that game once you buy it digital. That's it. You own it. If it's a game that's bad, you can't go and take and trade it in and get some of your money back at least to put towards another game.
Yeah, and you can't even do the GameStop shuffle, which is to go buy a game that's used and beat it in 7 days and then take it back and say you don't like it.
Exactly.
I call it the GameStop shuffle.
Yeah, because I do that. If I buy a game and I don't like it and I bought it used, I will take it back and be like, I don't like this. I don't even have to tell them. I just be like, even if I beat it, I just tell them I was like, nah, I didn't like this game. And they're like, okay, you want to exchange it for something else? Yeah, let's put my money, or I'll put my money down on a pre-order I got.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's just like DRM, where you buy that game, that's it. You can't, and when they implemented that, when they stated that back in 2013, I said, oh, they're trying to turn their console into PC gamers, because that's how PC is.
Let me ask you, it'll be the last, and we'll close it up after this. Not unless everybody wants to hear about it. Well, real quick, I was shout out to Black YouTube. Shout out to Gab Talk Media. I went on Black YouTube and I got to talk about black female fuckery.
Oh Lord!
So, but you'll check that out. Oh yeah, on Gab Talk. Yeah, shout out to Gab Talk. It was fun. We talked for about 2 hours. It was fun. We had a nice little crowd over there. They were asking questions, so, and I was answering, point blank the way I always do, very candid. But I'll put that link in the description here before you go. But let me ask you all, looking at the gaming here, what have you been surprised how fast the people in the Xbox and the community, they've accepted no ownership of their games? Like literally, Microsoft, by pushing Game Pass and digital, they don't control the games. It's a rental service.
Well, that's just like I was saying. They were turning their console base into PC gamers into this. And slowly over the years, because like I said, this whole thing is exactly what they wanted to do in 2013 when the console launched. But now they've just slowly implemented things to where the community are sitting here like, oh, okay, that's fine. They slowly did it instead of all at once.
Yeah.
So their populace is sitting here with the populace being gradually introduced into it and not getting hit all at once. They're sitting here like, and then they have a lack of games and things like that. They're in a game drought for first party games. They're happy for anything they can get. Oh, we're going to make the Xbox One backwards compatible with all the 360 games. How are you that happy to play old games? I don't care if they're remastered. You played old games.
But it was because PS4 didn't have backwards compatibility, therefore it was considered a good thing. It kind of like, and shout out to Sick Humor, because like he said, they were more concerned about talking about what the Xbox did versus what the PS4 didn't do instead of playing the damn games.
Exactly. That's like, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but the Microsoft community is all worried about Microsoft being on so many lists for making so much money and stuff. And I'm sitting here like, why are you worried about them being on lists of how much money they're making when they're not giving you anything to play with? Why worry about how much money they're making? Like FC Violent brought that up in one podcast on Scram Punks with us. I was like, I don't care that Nintendo's not on that list. I have a ton of games I'm worried about how I'm going to afford to get. I don't care why they're not on that list. All I'm caring about is the games I'm getting.
Yeah. Well, I can't argue with you.
That's true. PlayStation, I know that PlayStation has been popping out games. Nintendo has been popping out games. Microsoft has been putting more games on the Game Pass, so you're not seeing them really physically. You're just seeing them, or sometimes don't talk about it. You have to go on Game Pass to find out there's new stuff there.
Yeah, and you can sign up for alerts. I don't know if people. I don't know if you. Yeah, I don't know if you can. If you know this, you can sign up for Game Pass alerts, and they'll let you know what's dropping. That was part of the sign up on PC. At least on PC, you can sign up for like an alert.
Mike got started. Mike got started asked, "What do you guys think about the cigarettes will be?"
Cigarettes sold on Game Pass?
Y'all are silly. Yeah. What did you know? It was somebody Photoshop. They said the only patch that Gears will come with, and it was a Nicoderm patch. That they put on
Nicoderm patch.
Somebody put a Nicoderm patch on there, and I get and I feel for him because when he was talking about his dad passed of cancer from smoking. I mean, my dad passed of cancer too, and rip. I mean, I didn't say.
But here's the thing I have to say about that. Here's the thing, as a person who acknowledged that whole thing, it's sad to hear about that, but at the same time, you got to make sure you don't put your personal feelings in video games. Because I started noticing that too. I felt the same way, but then I'm like, you know what? I can't put my personal beliefs into like in video games at times, because sometimes I have to really think about like, okay, it's not for me, so I'm not going to buy it.
Right.
But you're creating a game and you're gonna put your personal beliefs in there, like, oh, I don't want to put this cigarettes in there because of my relatives died of cancer. But I'm like, this ain't your game. This is Microsoft's game.
My whole thing on that is we play video games to escape reality.
Exactly.
Too much of the reality side of the world, politics, belief systems like this, and things like that are coming into what we are playing to escape reality. It's now like we're playing games that are more realistic and more true to the real world. But if we're playing games to escape reality, why are you going to bring reality into our games?
Well,
I don't disagree with that. Go ahead, Viera. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like, there's always been politics in video games. It's just fancy politics based off, and a lot of video games are based off real life politics, like, you know, fascism and all this stuff. You know, you got the whole like, some of the wars are based off reality and everything. You know, some of the stuff is based off reality, but in more of a fantasy style. But I feel like, you know, when they start, like, I'll say this, I start noticing a lot of games were done with the Middle East when the 9/11 happened. There was more games were based off the Middle East of you shooting a bunch of, you know, people who are Arab descent. You were doing that a lot. I remember that was like the main selling point in video games for the longest time.
Yeah, they remember what was it? Grand Theft Auto 3. They cut the wings off of the airplanes because they thought people were going to try to. This is the old Grand Theft Auto 3, you know, because they thought people were going to try to take the airplane and fly them into buildings and to mock what it just happened. So that's the first time I remember and this is Rockstar games. This stuff, and a lot of people have forgotten about that. But let me give a shout out to CRU, my brother, my ADOS brother. He was there when I was on Black YouTube with Gab Talk, and he got to hear me talk about black female fuckery. But he was there, so shout out to your brother for stopping by. That was a good time over there, man. The Almighty Spartan God. We're about to get. I'm about to get on up off of here because we've been here since 11, and Viera is still half asleep. She's on West Coast time. Oh man, but yeah, no, I don't. You're right, but do you all remember when Rockstar did that?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. So yeah, crazy. That was crazy. So that's the first time I remember video games, a company reacting to social.
I mean, but something like that. That's something I can understand because it was such a tragedy and it was still so fresh in people's minds.
Correct. No, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, and I don't disagree with what Rockstar did. You know, I'm just people gotta. I agree with what somebody said in the chat. Do you all think that he's using a personal tragedy, and that's like Viera, like you just said, how it's affecting? He's letting it affect.
That cat.
I just heard a cat.
Yeah, that's mine. That's Charlie. That's the one that always interrupts me when I'm on the podcast or some shit. You know.
Well, he wants attention.
Oh yeah, he always wants attention. He's not coming in.
I done locked my cats out of my craft room for right now, so I won't have to deal with them.
Now, do you do cosplay?
Huh? No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Nah, I'm a little too chunky, and they don't make me fat anime characters.
Yes, they do. They do. It's just so rare, though.
Exactly. And then if they are there, they may be white, and I don't want to like paint my face. There's very few black characters and fat characters I could cosplay.
Well, we gotta
I would
draw
say the only one I
some.
saw was from Naruto was Boruto, we're gonna call Naruto's son. He and there's that one chick, she is she's fat and that's pretty much um oh, Fishra said it doesn't stop most people from cosplaying them anyways. You
That's
have
true.
seen these cosplayers?
Yeah,
Yes, I
Yeah.
have seen
I
them,
saw a
but
fat Aloy. I
but
saw a
but
fat
wait a minute.
Aloy.
Wait a minute. Let me put it this way, okay? Yes, I have seen them, but I have the personal belief that there are some clothes fat people should not wear.
Yeah.
And okay, there are some clothes that fat people should not wear.
Such
And if
as.
I let's not get into it, okay? Let's put
Okay.
this way. On my 21st birthday, I was at Atlantic City and me and my mom was in a restaurant and there was this really, really, really obese lady in a string bikini. Everybody thought she was nude, okay? Everybody thought she was nude, okay? And they like even called the police, and the police went out there to investigate because she looked like yes, and she was sunbathing on the beach. So there are some clothes that fat people I feel should not wear. Okay. And I refuse to wear them because I know that people are laughing at me behind my back. So I refuse to do it.
Well, we
Yeah,
have to
there's
make
certain clothes that
some.
they purposely made just for skinny people only, because that's why I always hate about that. But it's just it's sometimes I'm just like, nah, I got more dignity. I have my dignity to know I cannot wear something that's I know I'm not. Even though I'm skinny, I will not have that shit. So I'm just like,
And my mom look at some people that come through. Like this one lady came into our office, and I don't know what the hell she was wearing. My mom looked dead at me and said, "If you ever wear some goddamn shit like that, I'm knocking you the fuck out." I was like, "Damn, mom."
How tall is your mom? You said she was taller than you. Are you taller than your mom, Snowbunny?
No, she taller than me.
She taller than you. Okay.
My mom's like 5'6", 5'7".
Okay. Cool. 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 All right.
I got my height from my dad. My dad was like 5'5".
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm like a 5'3" myself. So
So
man,
you're
don't feel
both
bad.
5'3". Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I understand that some fat people cosplay, but the only outfit I have right now that I might cosplay, and I have a pattern for it because, and the only reason is because I would have to wear a corset with it, is I have a dressmaker's pattern for the dress that Seal Phantom Hive wears in Black Butler, the pink dress.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pattern to make that, but with that dress, you would wear a corset so you wouldn't see everything. So I might do that one.
Somebody wants to know where they can get a game like
3
Fallout.
feet tall, rising.
I am like the old De La Soul. I mean, the Snow Bunny probably remembers that album. What they call 3 Feet Tall and Rising.
De La Soul.
Yeah, what
Back
is it?
in the 90s.
Yeah, do you remember that? Yeah, that shit was
Holy
the
shit.
jam. Yeah. Someone wants to know where you can get a game that's like Fallout. As far as with the VAT system, Fallout's the only one that does that. But Bethesda makes other. I like Bethesda's games. I like the Wolfenstein games and all that other stuff. Because hey, what's funner than killing Nazis? That's all you do in Wolfenstein is shoot a bunch of Nazis and blow shit
Are
up.
you getting the next one that's coming
Yes,
out?
absolutely.
I was shocked when they said it was coming out to the Switch. I was like, what?
Well, I don't know. The Microsoft version may not have no blood in it. It may take out the. Didn't they do that? Was there one game? What was it Call of Duty that took out the swastikas and stuff like that? Didn't they do something like that?
Yes, Call of Duty. It was no Battlefield
It's
1.
Battlefield. Okay.
They took out the swastikas and put something else there because they said that it was promoting Nazism. And they actually made black Nazis in that game too. So like, what? Because they want all white people to be Nazis. But I'm like, wait a minute, I thought that's what they were. But I was like, you know what? Whatever.
But that's the thing about video games. That's something you can change. You don't have to be historically accurate.
Right.
In all video games.
I'm not saying it should be historically accurate. I just thought it was really weird to see that. But I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, see, Wolfenstein is they don't. I mean, that's but they don't care. Even Bethesda came out and said, "Nah, killing Nazis is something that everybody should do." I mean, they did. I mean, I remember they had that press conference. They're like, "No, we're not going to change ours because that's what we're." But yeah, I'm getting it, and it's with is it with the 2 females, right? It's like his daughters.
There she goes.
Wolfenstein,
Uh-huh.
New Blood or some shit like that.
Yeah, whatever it's called, I'm buying it. But I love the Wolfenstein games. I love it. So so I've been playing that since 86, 87 on Commodore 64. So that's right. These black dudes, Spartan guy. Still the best quote on YouTube I've ever heard. Because I said that the other day when I was paying off. What did I pay off? I paid off Days Gone right before I bought it, and I said that I would have paid off something else, but these black dudes are in front of me trading in their Xbox One. So they gave you a code. You got a 2070 now. See that now? That's the video. I give them credit, man. They give stuff away, man. AMD got to come on. Is Craig 50 years old? Nope. I'm not 50. I am not 50. So I'm telling you, I'm going to go through that quantum realm, and I'm going to go back to 1987 and listen to some old school LL Cool J. So
I'm going back. If I get a time machine, I'm going back and buying all these damn retro games that's super expensive and keep them sealed to have a money pot when I get old.
Yeah,
and come back to the future.
Yeah, see, I've got a Grand Theft Auto Vice City copy signed by Jenna Jameson because she was voiced one of the characters. Mm-hmm. So when she came to my city, if you bought her book, it gave you a code to go meet her. And when I met her, I said, "Is there any way you could sign this video game? I haven't even opened it yet." And she's like, "Yeah." She said, "This is a great game. So you can kill people and sleep with prostitutes." That's what she said. So I'm like, "Yeah." So she signed it. So that I don't know if that's going to be worth anything, but yeah, that's my claim to fame when I met that porn star. So that made my day. Somebody said,
"Well, you got a video game signed by a porn star."
One of the actresses it was her voice. She played Candy.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
you have a signed copy of a game played with the voice actress who is a porn star, who's I think retired now.
Yep, and she's put on a little bit of she's a little more round than she used to be. But hey, she's married and she's a mom, so not that big a deal, right? But yeah, it is signed by her. So somebody said I would have to get one more signature from somebody that actually voiced in the game. So maybe I could meet Lawrence Taylor or somebody like that. Burt Reynolds is dead, so the bandit died. So
Burt Reynolds died?
I believe Burt Reynolds has passed. Yeah, I think. So which porn star? It was Jenna Jameson who played Candy Sucks. They had Dennis Hopper. They had an all-star cast. They had Lawrence Taylor, Dennis Hopper. They all provided their voices in that game.
Dennis Hopper, I think, is dead.
It could be. Yeah, I'm not for sure.
Because I get him and that other guy always mixed up. Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, I think Dennis Hopper he may be. He may be. Yeah, I'm not for sure. So, but yeah, great game, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Because I grew up in the '80s with that soundtrack. That's the soundtrack of my life. I love.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds died last year.
There you go.
Oh wow, I'm behind the times.
Robert McLeod said he's 5'4". Fatal Shiraz and AMD is giving away 3 months worth of PC Game Pass with the Navi graphics cards. And I wouldn't mind getting one of those new Navi cards, but I would have to get a new motherboard. And I think I would have to get and then I would have to upgrade the CPU. So I would literally have to build half a computer again. And I might do it. I don't know. So I am not thirsty. So Debbie does the City of Dallas. Yeah, I've got that one somewhere. Xbox died in 2008. I say 2000. Whenever Quantum Break came out and Phil Spencer said we're going to put this on PC, that's the day Xbox died. The actual box died.
Why, when you said that, I thought of the song American Pie.
Yeah, that's the day Xbox died, and that's the day he got into it. I don't know if you all remember, he got into it with Crap Gamer, and it got picked up on all the on national sites.
Who?
Phil Spencer got into, because Crap Gamer said something like,
"Oh, okay,
I'm going to cancel my pre-order," and Phil Spencer said, "You're canceling your pre-order because other people get to play the game," with a question mark. So, and that was it. It got picked up like on like major sites picked it up, but when they put games on PC, that was the end. The box became irrelevant, because I mean, if I'm going to play an Xbox game, I'm going to play it, on PC. So.
I'm gonna be good Sparta. And not comment on that, Sparta.
Leave my
last night. Well, she drank coffee, so she sounds like she's rolling now. So no,
that's not what he meant.
I said her battery died. Don't you mean because you're like, oh my god, that went right over my head? I'm sorry. All right, then. Well, all right, that went over my head. All right, so I thought because people always say
everybody.
You would say Roger. Yeah, so that's all right. My bad. Right, it's Sunday, people. Come on. Yahoo died. Yahoo stock's still not bad. Yahoo stock's not bad. So, but if you go back in time, somebody said they invest in Google. No, you invent Google. You go back. Well, technically, you can't go back and change things because it's already happened. So, yeah, investing would be the best thing. So, because you can't go back and change things because they're already happened. So, all right, then, guys, I tell you what, we're going to let these two wonderful Black women gamers shout themselves out, and we're going to get out of here. So, Vieira, since it's still 10 o'clock in the morning, your time, go ahead and shout yourself out.
Yeah, this is Veratron. Yeah, I've been up for quite some time now, so I am fully awake, so don't worry. Got this damn cat still trying to gun to my door. But yeah, had a good time. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
God damn it.
Well, Miss Snow Bunny, first time here. Thank you so much for coming, by the way. Please go ahead and shout yourself out.
Thank you for having me, Craig. Thank you, chat, for coming and joining us today. Snow Bunny 426 here. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube. Have a great evening, guys. Bye.
Yeah, and check out both of them. They're on the round table with King Thrash and that crew, always cutting it up. So it's tame on Wednesday nights, or is it Tuesday night?
They're Tuesday nights, and I'm also on Scram Punks on Wednesday nights.
Now, what is Scram Punks? What is that? Who's on there? Shout them out too.
MM2K, Neethles, and Dirt Griggity.
Okay, well, yeah, shout out to them, and you all go sub to everybody here, because hit that like button, people. Support these two young gamers, as they are the future of gaming.
Like I said, Craig, I'll probably shock your brain when we log off of here, okay? Because I'm not that far behind you. Trust me.
Well, my mom always told me to never ask a lady her age.
Don't worry, you don't have to ask. I'll tell you when we log off of here.
Okay. Well, all right, guys, we're going to get on off here. This has been the King of Xbox Episode 3, joined by these wonderful female gamers who do lots more than just play games, as Vieira's batteries have died, and Snow Bunny does
really
all kind of things. Does all kind of things, yeah. So, all right, guys, we out of here. Y'all have a good day and play your games. Peace.
Bye.